feel to get Amari Evans again involved in the offense, and what kind of weapon is he?
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw a very diverse performance from him because obviously he had the super long touchdown to open the second half, but he also had some short underneath catches, like the one when Bo was in when the ball got tipped at the line, but he still made a great catch and I almost scored. I didn't see the replay, but it was a really close call. Could have possibly been his second touchdown of the day, but I think he had a very good game overall, and it's not just deep shots. Like his whole game is really developing right now. It's really cool to see, and he's playing super fast and at super high confidence. So it's only going to be good for our whole offense with him playing the way he is.
How much fun was it to see Tyler Warren doing what he was doing out there?
Yeah, it was really fun. Obviously, like you can use him. He's a Swiss Army knife, honestly. Like you can put him in at quarterback, and he'll run the ball for 10 plus yards, or he'll go out and throw a 20-yard touchdown. So like obviously he's a very special tight end. We always talk, or Coach Franklin always talks about it, like probably the most complete tight end in all of college football, and we want to have him a big part of our game plan every week, and it's been paying off for us so far.
So you have the one-armed catch, the one-handed catch he made down the sideline. Did you see that?
No, I was on the ground. I didn't see it till I
see a replay?
On the iPad I did. It was like very nonchalant, I guess. Like he just caught it and then stood there after he got hit.
Casual,
So
very
yeah, it was very casual, but it obviously like a fantastic catch. Like he can really adjust to balls for like tight ends that like normal tight ends won't even get a chance or bend their body the way he does, but he's a very special talent, and obviously like a very big catch radius, and he's just a very special player overall.
So school record offensively, what do you think you can build on next week in Big Ten play against Illinois?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be things to clean up from this game. I know offensively, we had a drive where we kind of just well, the one sack I took, I missed Julian on the crossing route, which I was upset with myself after watching that over because that would have been an explosive play. We would have been at midfield, or he breaks a tackle and goes all the way. So there's going to be little things to clean up, and those are the things we're going to have to keep continuing to grow on. But it really, we talk about our offense each week is refining our process and getting better at our process, and our process should be growing each week, and we should be adding on things and getting better and just perfecting it. So that's going to be our goal going into next week, and we're going to just learn from this win and just keep building on that.
Do you feel like you're ready for Big Ten play, that you guys have done everything that you wanted to do in these first 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I would say we are.
For the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I would say we are. I think it's just refining our process, continuing to get better throughout the weeks of practice, and just being very dialed into the game plan. And the coaches have done a great job of just getting us like very detailed on the game plan.
The form that Tyler showed on his throw, what did you think of that?
It was good. He threw it right off the ear of the DB because I had a really good angle of it because I was on a bubble, and I just saw Nick made a really good catch on it too. Like it was a tough catch, and Ty put it in a spot where only Nick could catch it, which was really cool to see. And obviously, for that to show how creative we are as an offense is really good for us. And we're just going to keep building off those packages we have.
What goes into making sure those creative plays are ready to actually be happening in games?
Yeah, I think it's repetition throughout the week. They're giving them different looks, like because you can get a lot of different stimuluses pre-snap and post-snap. So it's just preparing us through the jog-through reps that we get, and then when we get the full speed reps of them, capitalizing on them and just making sure everything's right. But it really comes down to just repetition and then just matching the plays up to film at the end of the day.
And is that all Andy Kotelnicki's doing, or do you guys sometimes add in your own flair and kind of craft them up yourselves?
We haven't yet. We've discussed it. I've talked to Coach K about a couple things, but right now it's like all Coach K and the offensive staff. Like we have one of the best offensive staffs in the country, and obviously Coach K is a big part of it, but we have a lot of like our position coaches are fantastic, and our analysts do a great job throughout the week of getting looks in and getting plays in that are going to be successful for us on Saturdays.
Drew, speaking of analysts, you just added James Urban, broke yesterday. What do you know about him so far? Obviously, big NFL background, and how do you feel that he can make you a better quarterback with his experience working with quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think first off, it's like you said, his experience just working with a lot of different quarterbacks. Obviously, his last stop was in Baltimore, and obviously, like Lamar Jackson's top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now, and he's really grown his game. So it's going to be a lot of knowledge that he's going to be able to share, not only just quarterback play, but just breaking down defenses pre-snap and post-snap and throughout the week. And I think he was a great hire for us. I got to meet him. He was like a guest coach for us over fall camp, so I got to meet him a little bit then, and then when he was hired here, we already knew each other from that, so it was really cool. Love Coach Herbs. He brings a lot of knowledge to our quarterback room already, and he's doing a great job for our offensive staff.
Drew, Liam and Julian both had their best game of the year so far. Kind of curious how you'd evaluate that, what that means going for the offense going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just shows how many playmakers we have. Obviously, we wanted to get them more involved in the first 2 weeks of the season, but unfortunately we weren't able to. But they took advantage of their opportunities today. Liam getting in the end zone was big for us, and then Julian having a really his second catch was a really tough catch because honestly I just threw it off anticipation, and he's a really good guy in zone coverage of throttling and feeling zone coverage. Like he does a really good job with that, and he's very friendly when it comes to that sort of thing, and he just knows where I'm going to throw the ball. So he did a great job of that, and I think it might have got tipped. So he did a great job of just concentrating through the catch and then making a run after the catch. So they both had really good games, but I think it just showcases how many playmakers we have on the offensive side of the ball.
Your mobility has been a big difference this year, whether it's you running in the red zone or extending the play like you did there when you hit Omari. How much was that a focal point of your offseason?
Yeah, I think the biggest part of it was just losing a little bit of weight because I think it was something that I've always had in my game. And I think last year I was able to showcase it a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked, just with having to throw the ball away because I wasn't fast enough to get away from some guys, or just trusting myself more this year. And that's one of my goals. Like, I'm not really scrambling the run. I'm scrambling to throw the ball downfield, and the receivers know that. And Amari did a great job of feeling the guy underneath him and just taking it off over the top. But for me, I just have to make sure I'm not forcing those things, I guess, let it happen organically. And I think I've been doing a good job of that so far throughout the season. But yeah, it was a big part of my offseason goals.
Going back to the explosive plays, you guys face a really good, talented secondary next week. How do you build on this week's performance with those explosive plays?
Yeah, I think it's our preparation throughout the week. Obviously, Illinois is a very talented team, and they're a very tough team. Obviously, we played them last year. I don't know how many returners they have, but I'm sure it's like a fair amount. So they're going to be a test for us for sure. But I think for us offensively, it's going to be learning from both the good and bad from this game, and then building off that throughout the week. And then whatever the game plan is next week, just perfecting that throughout the Tuesday, Wednesday, and then just refine it on Thursday and Friday. And then when it gets to Saturday, just go out and play and trust our training.
I'm sure you felt like a confident quarterback last year. Is it different this year for you? Do you feel like?
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I think my confidence is at the all-time high since I've been here. And I think that's just experience from last year going through it for the first time. And then I think it's credit to Danny, Coach K, and Coach Franklin of just letting me be me and just showing emotion when I want to. But yeah, I also think my confidence comes from the way I prepare. I take a tremendous amount of pride in that, and our whole quarterback room does, of preparing like every game's like the Super Bowl pretty much. So I think that allows me just to go out and play free and play loose, and then that's where that confidence comes out for me.
Do you feel like the rapport with your receivers maybe is a little bit different than it was last year, just as a group?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair to say. I think that was one of the things I wanted to build throughout the spring and summer, and I think really getting with Coach Losi and dialing in our summer pass plan, and Coach K giving us very detailed things of what he wants us to do and rep, I think was really well. And I think we did a really good job of managing it, and there was a lot of great work that went on, and then I think that allowed us to hit the ground running when fall camp came around. So I think it's definitely a credit to the work we put in over the summer, and yeah, it's definitely paid off so far for us throughout the season.
We saw a lot of Bo today. What did you like seeing out of him, and what more do you expect to see from his progression?
Yeah, I mean, I think he did a really good job of throwing the ball today. He had a couple nice completions down the field. The one to Dink on the touchdown was a really nice throw. Great catch by Khalil on that one. But I think you just saw his athleticism take over at times when the pocket broke down and there were a couple backed up situations. He was able to take off and get some positive yards. So I think just his athleticism is a threat anytime he steps up on the field. and he's done a really good job with his opportunities so far. So it's cool to see that from him.
I don't know if you were asked this already, but with Liam getting in the end zone, 3 catches, 64 yards, how happy were you for him to get that kind of production, to get that kind of moment?
Super happy because he's one of the most consistent guys on our team with his preparation throughout the week and the way he practices. So I think for it to finally pay off in a game this year for him is huge. And I think that's going to be huge going into this part of the season where it starts to become a grind. With just practices adding up over, and you're just playing more games, and it's going to take physically a toll. But I think he's done a great job of just, being the same guy every day, and it's really showed off in practice. Like, our receivers have been practicing really well. I think the best they've ever practiced since I've been here, just with the speed they're playing with, the consistency they're playing with, and just the contested catches they're making throughout the week of practices. So I think it's a credit to that whole room, but Liam's just done a great job of just being really consistent and with his process and the way he practices.
Saw a bunch of the younger guys with just the state that you can get in later on. Did anybody stand out to you with their performance today?
There's a couple of guys. I mean, I think the running backs really showed out. Q and Cam, they had a really nice physical carries, and then 2 perimeter got Luke Reynolds, obviously. That's one of the most impressive catches I've seen, and for him being a true freshman making that catch is pretty unreal. He's going to be a really, really good player for us down the line this year, but also in his future. And then Tyseer had a really nice throw on a rollout to the left to Tyseer, and Tyseer did a great job of just possession catch, toe tap on the sideline. So there's a lot of guys that stuck out, and I think that was the cool part about this game today.
Appreciate it, Drew.